So you're wondering in your job search, why are hiring managers ignoring your application? Now, it's a literal pandemic at the moment. People are applying for jobs, nothing's happening. They do this for 3 months, 6 months, hell, even 12 months. And the responses are the same. Unfortunately, you haven't been successful. But it starts to happen a little bit quicker than you initially think because you apply, 5 minutes later, you get an email, and you know deep down that hiring manager didn't even look at your profile. They didn't look at your resume, your CV, your cover letter, your LinkedIn. They might have viewed your LinkedIn, but then you were automatically rejected. Now, what's that about? A little secret that I need to share with you. They're actually not looking at your profile. The problem you have is not, hey, people are ignoring my profile. The problem you have is you're invisible. There's too many people applying for jobs. So the reason you feel that hiring managers are ignoring you is because they can't see you. So you are invisible, but you're not being ignored. You're just not sticking out in front of the crowd. In any major city on the planet where you apply to a competitive job that people would like to get into, you're competing against other people who want to have that job. Whether that's a hybrid role, a remote role, in-office role, companies and positions have become so competitive that market saturation has become the biggest problem a job seeker faces. So how do you battle it? What do? You need to stick out from the crowd. You need to make sure that you don't just rely on an application. You actually speak to the decision makers. You want to be able to show your LinkedIn profile. You want to be able to ask questions. You want to be able to showcase your soft skills, your company culture fit, your work style, all these different things the company might not be able to see on your CV, resume, or LinkedIn. So how do you do that? Well, I've done a free training, link in the description. It's literally free. I will break down a step-by-step guide of what you can do to reach out to decision makers. Now back to this video. You need to speak to the right people and you need to be able to showcase more than what's on the job spec. Now, a job spec is generated by 3 or 4 or even 5 people looking for, quote unquote, the perfect candidate, whatever that means. But the challenge that companies have is a similar challenge that you have. They see too many people and they can't find the right candidate. You're literally applying to a job you might be perfect for, but that company can't see you. And you feel that, hey, I'm being ignored by the hiring manager. You're not. You're just invisible. So you need to stick out from the crowd. LinkedIn is your best friend. If you use LinkedIn and you reach out to people in your targeted list of companies, industries, or hell, even company sizes, you'll have at least a trajectory to follow to make sure that you encourage success to happen in your job search. Now, I want you to imagine 2 different types of job seekers. You've got job seeker A, who's applying for everything and anything, and they're not getting anywhere. They're literally being rejected left, right, and center. Then you've got job seeker B, who's being super targeted at one particular industry, let's say fintech or AI. That's a pretty hot topic at the moment, the AI industry. They're focusing on startups. They're not just applying, they're reaching out to people doing the job that they would like to do. They're reaching out to hiring managers directly. They're not saying, hey, here's my CV. They're actually asking a question about the policy of company culture. They're asking about the company goals that's not seen on the website. They're even asking about projects. Now, the companies won't share too much details on projects due to privacy laws, but at least you're showcasing that interest so they know who you are and what you look like. Now, if you start doing that, not only do you stick out from the crowd, but you're not going to get ignored by hiring managers. You're actually going to get engaged with them in a genuinely positive interaction type of way. Even if a hiring manager rejects you, you still have a conversation to go on. I call this the looping technique. It's on my platform. So if somebody says to you, hey, we're not hiring at the moment, you can actually loop the conversation to say, well, when you do start hiring, what is it that you look for? You can't do that with an application. You'll be ignored with an application, but with a genuinely good, engaging conversation, at least you've got a little bit of a runway to start talking to people. Now, if you do that, you'll notice that your job search becomes a little bit more authentic. You actually speak to real people see you, and you have an opportunity to actually sell yourself. It gives you a fighting chance to stick out from the crowd. I want you to think about this in your job search. And like I said, link in the description. There is a free training that I've done. It will show you a step-by-step way of how you can achieve multiple offers by making sure hiring managers and decision makers, for that matter, do not ignore you. I'll see you on the next one.